In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to become a board certified master arborist. It's not necessarily hard to understand, but there are little nuances to becoming a board certified master arborist. First off, the first thing you have to do is become a certified arborist. To become a certified arborist, you need at least 3 years of proven work experience in the tree industry, whether it be landscaping, tree trimming, groundwork, planting, nursery, you name it. All of these would be considered experiences in tree work. And then once you get that, you test out of it by taking the certified arborist exam. This is all done through the International Society for Arboriculture. Once you've taken that exam, and it always changes depending on what is the passing rate of people taking it. I believe when I took it was 82, 84. Now, how I understand it, I believe it's 72 or 74, but it varies every so often. Every few years or so, they change it. But you take that exam. Once you pass that exam, then you become a certified arborist. You are a certified arborist. You need at least 10 CEUs, that's 30 CEUs, every 3 years to renew your license. And the ISA, the International Society of Arboriculture, is the benchmark for most arboriculture practices or agencies in the United States. It's pretty much the gold standard. Once you become a board certified arborist, then there's different ways to go in terms of adding credentials in the International Society of Arboriculture. You can become a track arborist, a tree risk assessment qualified arborist. It's the only qualification that ISA offers. You can go up even further and you become a utility arborist or a municipal arborist or a certified tree worker, and then a certified bucket operator or certified aerial lift. These are all different credentials, and you can actually skip all those and become a board certified master arborist. The way I did it, and I did it for several different reasons, was I became a certified arborist, and then I became or got my tree risk assessment qualification. Then I became a board certified master arborist. I got into utility work. Then I became a utility specialist. I said utility specialist arborist. And then over the series of years, I did municipal work, and inevitably, the last thing I got was a municipal certification. And I believe now they are calling it urban forestry professional license. So these are all different parts of arboriculture. It's a lot of people typically only stay in one field. Sometimes they'll branch off into others. If you've been in arboriculture as long as I have, I've been in over about 12 years or so in tree work or in the green industry in general. There are so many facets in arboriculture. There's regulations, there's government, there is preservation, there is education, there is utility work, there's plant health care, there's tree work in general, trimming, there's planting, there's all sorts of facets, soil sciences, and there's so many different fields of arboriculture, subfields of arboriculture, that a lot of people can have different jobs and they can transfer in different areas of arboriculture. Because there's so many different subfields, the ISA has created so many different licenses. But as an ISA board certified master arborist, you want to be able to be versatile in all of those. And so to become a board certified master arborist, you have to test out of, I believe, last I checked was 18 or 19 different topics, ranging from tree appraisal, litigation, preservation, site development, soil sciences, municipal ordinances. These are all things that they will test you for. And that's one of the requirements of once you become a certified arborist, you have to take that exam. The next step of after you become a certified arborist is, in order to become a board certified master arborist, they create a point system of 8 different points to become qualified to take the board certified master arborist exam. Now, there are things that they count as a point. For every year that you're a certified arborist, they give you 1 point. There's several different things you can do to gain a point, and you have to have 8 points to be qualified to take the master arborist exam. For instance, if you're a certified arborist for 3 or 4 years, say 4 years, you get 4 points. If you have a bachelor's degree, they'll give you 2 points. If you have a master's degree, they'll give you an additional point. If you have a doctorate, they'll give you 4 points. So you have education, you have experience, and then you have other certifications. Certain licenses, other licenses throughout arboriculture, they'll count as a point. For instance, through TCIA, I am a tree care specialist, certified tree care specialist. TCIA stands for Tree Care Industry Association. They counted that as a point. To become an ASCA member, they count that as a point. An ASCA means American Society of Consulting Arborists. If you become a member, they'll count that as a point. Different state licenses. I have a TDA license. I think they counted that as a point, I believe. But again, when it was all said and done, I had like 10 points when I applied. So I think they counted my philosophy degree. They counted all my licenses that I had. If you have a tree risk assessment qualification, which I had at the time, they'll count that as a point. So the years you are a certified arborist, that counts as a point. For every 7 years you are in the industry, they'll count that as a point. If you need more points, there's more licenses you can get. Another way that they count it is if you do 100 CEUs on the ISA website that are approved by the International Society for Arboriculture, they'll count that as a point. Once you're allowed to take it, then you schedule for it and you take it. The problem with the Master Arborist exam is that it's, out of all the tests I've ever taken, it's probably one that's the most vast in terms of topics and in like subject matter to understand. There's about, I want to say 18 or 19 different topics. There's so many different things that you have to understand in terms of being able to pass that exam. And what makes it very difficult is, like, for instance, I'm in South Texas. They'll ask about conifers and evergreen trees that I don't typically work with. Or they'll ask northern people about palms, which they may never work with either. So it's not just about knowing your area. You have to know all sorts of regions and all sorts of classes of trees. And I don't typically work with birch trees. I have to understand birch trees. And or understand certain pests that are prone for different tree species that I am not familiar with. So it forces you to step out of your comfort zone in terms of understanding things. Really diving in conifers is what I had to especially do. What I would recommend in terms of studying for an exam such as that nature is buying prep course, take them, and they'll tell you what you're lacking in terms of subject material that you're not doing so as well as other materials. And that's typically the things that you're not working with on an everyday in terms of your field or in terms of the work that you're doing. For instance, I don't typically climb. I'm not a climber. I don't really do as much rigging. So I would make sure I understood all the proper rigging techniques and knots and purposes for those knots and climbing equipment and gear. So I would study that if I'm lacking on that. And a lot of times tree climbers and prune tree workers, they kind of lack the soil sciences, the tree biology, the planting, certain things like that they just don't typically do throughout their day. And so that would be, but when you take these basic practice exams, it can tell you what the information you're lacking And there's several books and research and countless videos online to look up these areas of study which you may be lacking. What I would recommend to most people, and most people that are younger, is that you want to actually, it would be better to start from the bottom. Once you become a certified arborist, become track, utility, municipal, and then ultimately get the board certified master arborist. I truly believe we need arboriculture a lot more in our lives, and a lot more understanding in trees in general, which is why I do what I do and why I push for helping educate people to become more licensed in the field of arboriculture. Some of these trees we work on are going to live for generations and generations and be wonderful, beautiful, priceless assets that we leave to our children, our grandchildren, our grandchildren's grandchildren. So it's something I truly believe in and have a passion for. I would also say that there's all these different licenses to get. It's really based on the area that you're in and the kind of work that you do to build your repertoire and your development as an arborist in the field that you're in. Some licenses may not be as necessary as others, and some of them are more beneficial than others. I am a board certified master arborist. I am a utility specialist. I am a municipal specialist or urban forestry professional. I am tree risk assessment qualified through ISA International Society of Arboriculture. International Society of Arboriculture is the gold standard for arboriculture in the United States and in most Western countries. I would say that at least in terms of OSHA or EPA or federal agencies or state offices, municipalities, that is typically the gold standard for understanding tree safety. Now, you start to get out there are several other organizations that do licensing and certifications. There's a big, but if you stayed this long, I really appreciate you guys. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me, alamomasterarborist@gmail.com, or check out my website. Feel free to contact me. I love helping people any way I can. This is